I was raised in Christianity my whole life. I recently converted to Islam, and
How recent?
I a few months ago, probably like 4 months ago. Islam was the one I found compatible for the way I want to live my life.
So you want to follow a man who owned and sold black slaves?
Well, I mean, it depends how you word it because it's a thing though. As far as like my research and what I learned
Hmm.
is that yes, he bought slaves, but he bought them to free them. He
No.
bought them to free them from the oppression that they was under,
Liar! That's a lie.
What
and
if
I
he
think
was the
that's
one that?
very honorable.
Yeah. What if he was the one that was the oppressor and he didn't free them? What if what you
I
learned?
never.
What if what you've been told that he bought slaves to free the slaves is a lie, is a flat out lie? What if that was a lie, but he actually kept the slaves and even sold slaves himself? What if that was the truth? Then what?
Well, with what I read, I didn't hear anything about him selling slaves to other people, but
No. What would you? Well, I'm
I
asking.
do know. I do.
What would you
I
think of
do
that? Is what
know.
the question.
What would I think about?
Yeah. What
Uh,
would you think if he owned and sold black slaves? What would you think of that? You think that that's an honorable prophet of God to follow?
no, I mean, I would disagree with that. I don't. I mean, I don't.
Good.
No, I don't think that's right.
Good. I want to show you something, brother.
That's fine. But like with what I read
Hmm.
is, he never oppressed. He never mistreated. Even
That's
the
false
people
too.
that was captured in war
He's
and conflict, he treated with the utmost respect and
That's
treated
not. That's
people.
false. All of that is false. He used to sleep with his little slave girls.
I disagree with that too.
Trust me, brother. Look, you just joined Islam a few months ago, and I'm pretty sure they did not lead with. Oh yeah, by the way, our honorable prophet, the moral character, sold and owned people that looked like you, and also would actually sleep with his slave girls. I'm pretty sure they didn't lead with that. They probably told you that Allah is one. There's only one Quran that's never been corrupted or changed, while every other
But
book
brother,
has been changed, and so on and so forth. Everything that you've learned about Islam, it's a lie. I'm about to show it all to you. I know it's probably going to be, like me saying this is like it means nothing. I'm just going to show you. All right. So let me first show you about the slavery. Okay. Now watch this, bro. So this is Sahih Muslim 1602. Now, do you see where it says chapter? You
yes,
see this? You see this part? Okay, this is what it says,
yes.
right? This is the name of the chapter that this hadith falls under. This is the context. It
Okay,
says the permissibility of selling animals for animals of the same kind and of different quality.
okay.
Now watch what the hadith says talking about selling animals for animals, brother. Jabir reported there came a slave and pledged allegiance to Allah's apostle on migration. He, the prophet, did not know that he was a slave. Then there came his master and demanded him back. Whereupon Allah's apostle said, "Sell him to me." And he bought him for 2 black slaves. And he did not afterwards take allegiance from anyone until he had asked him whether he was a slave. So notice here, he didn't buy him with like dollar bills or coin. He bought this non-black slave for 2 black slaves. So notice the quality worth.
Hold
Two,
on,
two
man.
black slaves is worth one non-black slave. All right. And so Muhammad sold these 2 black slaves to another slave owner.
Oh man.
This is
I don't
Islam,
know.
bro.
I don't know how strong that hadith is though.
Oh, brother, this is Sahih Muslim. So meaning Sahih is authentic, obviously, right? And when it comes to the hadith books, you got the 6 main authentic hadith books, right? The first one is Sahih Abu Bukhari. That's number one
Right,
authentic,
right,
Second, right under that is Sahih Muslim,
right.
and that's what we just read out of Sahih Muslim. And by the way, just to show you how Sahih, how authentic this hadith is, this isn't the only place it shows up. Let me show you.
I mean, it's at Sunnah.com, so that's what they feed into the mainstream. It's
Yep,
mainstream.
yep, it's mainstream, but not just that, bro. Watch that. It's not just Sahih Muslim. It's all over the place, bro. Look. It's in, these are all hadith that say the same thing. Sunan an-Nasai, right? The prophet said, sell him to me. And he bought him for 2 black slaves.
But on his last sermon, he talked about how no black is superior over the white, and no white is
That's a
superior
lie,
over the
bro.
black. No Arab is superior to a non-Arab. No
Bro, that's a
non-Arab is
myth.
superior to a.
That's a myth. That's a myth. There is no last sermon where he preached that. That's what they tell you guys. That never happened. There's no hadith that says that.
I just damn man, like
There's no hadith that says it, bro. I'm not lying to you. You know, I would acknowledge if that existed. No, it doesn't exist.
I just don't think that he's capable of certain things. Like I feel like there was an infiltration within Islam at some point, just like it happened with Judaism and Christianity.
Nah, brother, it's your idea of Muhammad. You have a particular idea of Muhammad. You have a picture of Muhammad in your head of how he behaves, his character,
Like
you know who he is, but you don't know Muhammad. You don't know him, bro. When you read the sources, this is who he is.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, you know what I mean? I read up on his biography and his character and everything, brother. Like, in the way that he carried himself, I feel like he is incapable of, maybe he could be capable of committing minor sins.
Where did you read about this?
Sins.
Where did you read about this?
Islamic scriptures, it's Islamic literature.
But what kind are you talking about? Brochures, propaganda? Because notice what I showed you. We went straight to the horse's mouth, right? It wasn't no secondary, third source or no. It was straight, authentic hadith from the Sunnah sources itself. You feel me? So this is what we know about Muhammad right here. I don't know what maybe you have seen or what pamphlet or article maybe you have read about, you know, that boosts Muhammad's character and throws, you know, little sprinkles and rainbows on top of it. But that's not Muhammad. This is Muhammad. The one who sells black slaves, the one who sleeps with his slave. You want me to show you that he slept with his slave girls?
I feel like that's the straw man, though, man. I
don't
man.
Know. Ain't no straw man here, man. We just read. The only thing
no,
we
I
do
get,
here is
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, and I know what you just showed me. And I just damn, man.
Do you want me to look? Because like this is one thing I can show you multiple. I can show you like. For you've been in Islam for a few months. Have you heard of his marriage with Aisha?
I heard about that.
Do you believe it?
I don't believe that. I don't believe he's capable of that.
All right,
I believe. You know what? And this might start a whole warfare against my own community of Muslims. But I'm not cool with Aisha. I feel like all she did was live her life to taint his character. I think she was jealous. I think she was on some other stuff. Like I think there was you see, like in the Quran it says not to make sex out of your religion, but yet they had made plenty sex, just like it happened with Judaism and Christianity. So you got Sunnis, you got Sufis, you got Salafi, whatever, you know, it just the Shia and all that. And I don't honestly, I try to stay away from the mainstream religions altogether. Like what to me is true is whatever is universal truth. Like if there's certain things that I just can't believe. Like even if it came from the sources, even like you just pulled up that hadith. I feel like there could have been some ill intent somewhere down the line from one of them people.
Okay, so let's do this.
I don't think the real Muhammad is capable of certain things.
I got you, Yusuf. Yusuf.
Sorry.
I got you. This is my thing with you, brother. Because I hear what you're saying. What I'm gonna do is this. What I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you the authentic hadith. I'm gonna show you straight from Sahih Bukhari about the Aisha thing, and then I'm gonna just show you from the Quran what the Quran teaches. Because it sounds like the hadith stuff is iffy and maybe you won't believe it, but you believe the Quran. So I'm gonna show you the same stuff from the Quran, no different. All right. But let me show you Aisha first so that you can say, so that you know that you've seen it for yourself. You're not gonna walk away from the stream not knowing about this anymore. You're gonna be, I'm here to give you what I got. I'm gonna give you information, you know what I'm saying? And I pray that God guides you and leads you to wisdom to make the right decision. But so this is what it says about Muhammad. This is Sahih Bukhari, bro. The top hadith, right? Top hadith book. Okay. Here it is. It said, hold on, let me do it this way. There we go. So this is Sahih Bukhari 5133. It says, narrated Aisha, that the Prophet married her when she was 6 years old, and he consummated his marriage when she was 9 years old. And then she remained with him for 9 years.
Define consummated. I mean, I could look it up too. But
Yeah.
what's consummated? What's
consummate means that you complete the marriage with sexual intercourse. So you have sexual intercourse to seal your marriage. It makes it complete. So basically, a marriage contract was wrote up when she was 6 years old. So he married her when she was 6, and then slept with her when she was 9. And by the way, it's not just in this. Look, Sahih Bukhari records this multiple times. This is 5133. Here's the next one. Sahih Bukhari 5158. Same thing, right? The Prophet wrote the marriage contract with Aisha while she was 6 years old, and consummated his marriage with her while she was 9 years old. All of them say the same thing. Every hadith you're going to bring up, they all say that. Now they'll switch on the age when the marriage contract was written. Most say 6. Some you get a few that might say 7, but every single one of them say the same thing about him sleeping with her when she was 9. And just for, just like more clear, like here's another one, Sahih Bukhari again, when she was 9 years old. Let's keep going. Let's see. Here it is. Here's Sunan Abu Dawud Sahih. It says, the Messenger of Allah married me when I was 7 years old. The narrator Suleiman said, or 6. He had intercourse with me when I was 9 years old.
Now, when they calculating this age, right? Like, are they using was there an Islamic calendar before Islam? Like, because they sure wasn't using the Gregorian calendar.
Brother, they human beings were able to track their age before regular calendars were put out, bro. People know when a year goes by. People know when days and weeks or months go by, celebrations, so on and so forth.
It's like
they know their own age, man.
This thing, right? That's tough, man. I got a daughter. I got a daughter. So
that, if somebody were to do this with your daughter, I know that you'll break their jaw. You'll probably kill them.
No,
I would.
I would be non-existent, but so would the other person. God forgive me, but look, this the thing though. I don't know, man. Like I can't believe he had it in him to do something. I feel like that's just
it's only because you don't know him.
1,400 years of people just throwing dirt on him and trying
brother,
to assassinate his character.
This is Islam, man. These aren't non-Muslims trying to,
But look,
mischaracterize Muhammad.
But
this is who he is according to the most authentic sources of Islam. This is what Islam is, and you just didn't know that. You joined a religion that you did not know, bro, and you're trusting in a man, Muhammad, who you do not know about. You don't know him.
But based off his character, though, I also don't know personally Jesus Christ.
I know.
Upon him. I also don't know personally King David or Solomon, peace be upon them all. But judging
because you haven't read their works.
But like going into the Bible, I never agreed with that whole situation where Lot's daughters got him drunk and he slept with his daughters. Like
nobody
was blasphemy.
Yusuf, nobody agrees with that. What they did was sinful. You see how we can condemn such actions, but can you as a Muslim condemn Muhammad when he does something evil, like what Lot's daughters did? Can you? We condemn Lot's daughters. Can you condemn Muhammad?
I could condemn it. Yes, I can, because I disagree with it.
Well, guess what? This is what the Quran. Watch this. Now, let me show you what the Quran says, man. Because the Quran says that you can't disagree with Muhammad and be a true believer with anything that he does or says. You can't disagree with him. You have to affirm everything that he has ever done and said with no resistance, or else you're not a real believer.
This is the thing, brother, though. Like, I don't want to be caught in that trap where I may be denying the last messenger, just like people deny, just
You're
like the
not.
Jews deny Christ.
No, dude. Oh my goodness. This is why it's
Yes, sir.
important for you to get to know Jesus. Because if you would have known Jesus, Muhammad would have been the most obvious false prophet to you, and you would have no fear in missing this guy
I
because he's a
think,
false prophet. Jesus literally says, you know them by their fruits. A lot of them are going to come out, try to
right.
claim that they're in line with me, meaning Jesus, that they're teaching the same thing, false doctrine, claiming to be prophets. Do not believe them. That's what Jesus says. And so we see when Muhammad is selling and owning black slaves, sleeping with little girls, while claiming that God allows him to do these things, this is an obvious false prophet, bro. Don't be duped. Don't
Well,
be
brother, like
deceived.
I feel that same way about Paul. And Paul
Okay,
is being held in high regards, and he used to degrade women.
you know,
He,
you know what?
I think he was
That,
actually part of the alphabet group. I'm not even going to say the word,
well,
but like
that's
honestly, man,
that.
the man was
These are
against
crazy
women.
accusations.
He
That
was
hold on,
against he was
I gotta
against the
I gotta
teachers.
stop you here because when notice how I'm able to bring you straight up sources, your own sources about Muhammad. If you're gonna say something about Paul, and which we can get to after this, after I show you what Islam really is, and you make the decision to either stay or leave, what that's on you. I want you then to show me what is your issue with Paul with receipts. Like I'm bringing receipts. Is that fair?
Okay, brother.
There's nothing about Paul that degrades women. But if you're talking about degrading women, do you think it's wrong to degrade women?
Yeah,
Good. So do you think beating your wife is degrading to women?
yeah.
Good. The Quran teaches that. Muhammad taught this. Muhammad taught that if you fear disobedience, not even if she was, if you fear it, if you think that she is being disobedient or acting out, then you can hit her. You didn't know that? They didn't tell you this part about the Quran either, huh? Let me show you the verse, bro. So this is chapter 4, verse 34. You can see the screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. So it says, men are the managers of the affairs of women, for that God has preferred in bounty one of them over the other. So he's preferred men. He put men over women. And for that, they have expended of their property. Righteous women are therefore obedient, guarding the secret for God's guarding. And those you fear may be rebellious, admonish. Banish them to their couches and beat them. If they then obey you, look not for any way against them. God is all high, all great. Imagine that. How merciful God is that he gives you a command to beat your wife if you think that she might be rebellious. This is demeaning to women. But this is in the Quran. This is what the Quran is teaching. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that. Hey, brother, quick question though. Is it possible to get another Muslim on here while I'm on here? Because I got a question for another Muslim brother too.
You wanna hear them explain this stuff?
I have a question for them.
Sure. But first, what you disagree with this?
I don't like that.
Good. So I'm telling you, brother, you just left us. Let me show you the difference, actually, and then I'll bring up another Muslim brother so that you can ask them something. But let me show you. I'm gonna put this side by side with the Bible, bro. This is Ephesians 5. Now, this is Paul, who you said demeans women. Watch what he says about women. I'm sorry, about how husbands are to treat their wives. Verse 25 here. Watch what he says. He says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of water and the word, so that he might present the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that she might be holy and without blemish. In the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. Do you think somebody abuses their own bodies? Like, does someone who loves themselves beat themselves? Do they hit their own self, or do they
No,
take care of their body? They take care of themselves, right?
Right.
The Bible here says, in the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one has ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as Christ does the church, because we are members of his body.
Okay.
So Paul is teaching that the same way that God loves believers, the church is the body of believers, us people who come to believe in him. The way that he gave his life for us, the way that he is preparing to present us as a beautiful, beautiful bride without blemish, without mistake, right? Perfect. He's perfecting us. He cherishes us. He takes care of us. The same way is how God loved us is how a husband is supposed to love his wife. That's what the Bible teaches. Notice the difference?
And you said that's Paul?
That's Paul, baby. That's Paul, man.
Hey.
Paul versus Muhammad.
But
Paul
this the thing,
versus.
though, I want to ask something though, because what I do find true is when Prophet Muhammad said that the best amongst you is the one who's best to his wife. So I mean, who's the person that rewrote the Quran?
Nobody.
I don't know. I feel like there was adversaries adversaries within. There was a power. There was a power structure destabilized. I don't know when, but
what you don't want to do, Yusuf. What you don't want to do is cherry pick.
I don't want to fall into I don't want to fall into mainstream. That's what I don't want to do.
No,
Because
but with that motive, you're starting to neglect what Islam is and what it says. You're choosing what sounds good to you, and you're like, you know what, that's what I'm gonna stick with,
because it's
while
universal
ignoring
truth,
the other
though.
parts that are just flat out wrong. You know what I'm saying?
But it's universal truth, and I feel like God's truth can never be changed.
That just means
God's
that
truth can never
God's
be
truth.
changed.
Okay.
Whatever gets changed down the line, that's made by men.
But
that's
Yusuf, you're missing it. That just means that Islam is not God's truth, because this is what Islam is teaching. So that's not God's truth. God doesn't teach husbands to beat their wives. He teaches husbands to love their wives. The Bible doesn't teach to selling on black slaves.
I don't believe the real Prophet Muhammad, I don't believe he taught that.
Well, this is the Quran, brother. I'm gonna leave you with this advice. I'm gonna leave you with this advice, because I don't think that, if you're honest, I don't think you're gonna stay in Islam long. What you're doing, from what I've received in this conversation, this is just what I've perceived in this conversation. You are choosing what sounds good to you and what fits what you imagine Muhammad and Islam to be. You're choosing to stick with the sprinkles and rainbow version of Islam, versus while ignoring the actual source material that tells you what Islam really is, how Muhammad truly behaved, and what Muhammad and the Quran actually teach. You can't ignore that and call yourself a Muslim. The second that which you have done here, you've audibly said, you know what, I don't agree with that. That's wrong. You know, this right here, I don't think that's wrong. This can't be true. This has to be changed or altered in some way, because this can't be it. What I'm positing to you, bro, is that you need to accept Islam for what it is, and do not turn a blind eye from the source material. From the source material. You'll get the truth of Islam here. You won't get it at a masjid. You won't get it. Ask them about this stuff.
Oh my God.